Billions are spent on military defense, satellites and global intelligence, and it don't make no sense. If we take 70% from the rich in taxes, 40% from the working class in taxes, spend the money on education, healthcare, homes for the homeless, jobs for the unemployed, the crime rate will decline. Time for us to start using our minds. America needs reform, social democracy to replace capitalism. Feed the poor, shelter the homeless, and create jobs. It's simple. I live my life in a city, overfilled with crime, intoxicated with pity, suspended in time. Every day it's a struggle between life and death. Gotta juggle with fate before my last breath. It's a test, my only quest to beat the odds. So I hold my own when times are hard. I was dealt bad cars, born broke and poor. The lack of food in my gut got me hungry for more. Growing up in the hood, watching the sunset, a great cloud over my head follows my every step. They say life is a gift, so be happy to live. But life in the ghetto is too negative. Drama in the streets, I can't sleep, I'm hearing gunshots. Flying bullets be making bodies drop. My neighborhood is full of crooks with bad looks, smoking weed, clocking cheese, living like wild G's. DC is giving birth to killers, baby mothers on welfare and drug dealers. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't want no racist war. 5, 6, 7, 8. Love, peace, war, and hate. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't want George Bush's war. 5, 6, 7, 8. Love, peace, war, and hate. Born alone, die alone. God set me free from this world of agony. Ain't no love on the streets. Another murder occurred. Another brother got shot. Down from one to the dome. Outlined in chalk. Brotherly love is needed. I see our future depleted when brothers die in the line of crossfire. So many mothers cry, feel the pain of a lost one. Only 21. Tell us what should we do? It's on you. Young, black, and thuggin'. This ain't living. My road dog doing 5 in prison. And I miss him. Gotta follow my vision to keep from going under. We all numbers doing time on the block. Ducking the cops. Take a look in my eyes. Tell me, what do you see? The future is dark and we don't have a clue. Mr. Bush, please open your ears and listen. It's a war going on. America is a prison. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't want no racist war. 5, 6, 7, 8. Love, peace, war, and hate. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't want no racist war. 5, 6, 7, 8. Love, peace, war, and hate. 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 It's the city of politics that phony smiles. Politicians run a game on the low profile. It's the home of the president and first lady. Maybe Bill didn't fuck Monica. Do you think so? I don't know, but to me it's a shame. So many lives being sold for profit and gain. And I dwell on the south side, 4th and L. Living hell, watching my people make crack sales. Willie bow tie is shutting us down. So we rally for the hospital, holding it down. Population control, steady holding us down. So we rally for the homeless, shutting them down. I remember Gary Graham, so I'm kicking the facts. Ain't no love for Bush, cause he killing all blacks. Come on, what's going on in the nation's cap? 30% homeless, hopeless, and most of them black. 2001 was a hectic year. Demonstrations and protests. Power to the people with guns. Fight back, take back, stand up, move up, rise up, stand up.
Good morning.
Fight back, take back,
Eastern Standard Time, USA. Good afternoon, Central European Time, EU. Hope everybody is having a wonderful start to their day.
1, 2, 3, 4. We don't want George Bush's war. 5, 6, 7,
Yes.
8. Love, peace, war, and hate. 1.
Y'all, once again, we back at it. You know, it's interesting because so much goes on in the world. so much goes on in the world, and a lot of it is struggle, unfortunately. A lot of it is struggle. And, it's compounded by struggles that intersect with a lot of different lives. One of the big constant things as we're aware of is the Israeli Palestinian conflict. It pops up regularly. And it made me wonder, it made me ask the question, how many holidays has that um, issue taken political focus? And then also we talk often and justly also about the issue of gender, right? That I don't really think takes up too much holiday period time or winter solstice time. When I think typically about it, I think it's more other topics like war, other issues. It doesn't seem to be gender, it doesn't seem to be race that takes up the holiday period. And then it brought me to the title of today of this program, and that is, no matter what season, holiday, or election cycle, reparations matters. And I thought about that and I was like, you know what? We have this debate. Even, it came up yesterday, like when we're going to be wishing people happy Thanksgiving. We're going to be wishing people Merry Christmas. We're going to be wishing people Happy Hanukkah. We're going to be wishing people a lot of stuff over these holidays. These things are going to become the center focus for a lot of people for these days. And then when it comes to like Thanksgiving, I mean, you can't help but to notice that, hey, as far as Aboriginal people or Native Americans, what does Thanksgiving look like for them? And how much irony there is in that. If it does, if a Native American is celebrating Thanksgiving, I have to wonder, like, what's going on in their mind? Like, was it really giving? And what does that mean for their politics? Um, what does that mean for their reparations movement? And then, bingo, boom, it brought me to the big question finally. And I said, hey, we got to do this. Definitely. And that is, should reparations matter to African people? Should that be the center point? Black people, diaspora Africans, black diaspora, whatever, however you want to see it, black folk, you know, colonialism, slavery. And in the Americas, I guess we call that particular form of colonialism. We say we were often the victims of the slavery part. And some black aboriginals, they say, hey, we're also still struggling on the native being acknowledged as Native Americans and getting some of that reparations. So here we go. You know, um, what is it like in a space where we hold these holidays, where reparations becomes the number one thing, no matter what day it is, no matter if it's just the election cycle? What would it look like for African Americans if all African Americans said, "Hey, reparations matters 2024"? What if that is the big political thing for African Americans across all political parties, across all intersections, just black folk in America, people that consider themselves, you know, persons that have suffered this in their family history, um, through their history of being, quote unquote, American, right? No matter if you're from South America, no matter if you're from North America, Central America, the transatlantic slave trade, or, however you want to word it, people word it differently. But triangular trade, um, you know, how much of this should be our focus in these political parts? Like, how much could we gain if we just say, you know what, if we're going to get together for this day, and if this day is about family, this day is about the most important things. Usually, politics is one of those things too. But even if it's not, even if it's just your family get together, wouldn't reparations be a nice topic? Wouldn't reparations? What's up, Maud? What's up, Andrea? Wouldn't reparations be a nice topic? Isn't reparations a nice topic to have on Thanksgiving, Christmas, if you're going to celebrate these holidays? You know, what other holiday? Or the election cycle. So, you know, Biden 2024 or whoever else 2024. I mean, shouldn't reparations be something for African Americans right about now that they, just make a center to all their discussions from South America to North America? Wouldn't that be just a wonderful thing? Imagine if there was like every year in this time, right? In this holiday period, reparations, African American reparation, uh, vigil, vigil holiday, or Remembrance Day. I don't know. Shouldn't that be? I guess they have that. They have that, but to me, it seems like it's this time, right about now. I mean, going into I don't know, I say, why not make it the most holiest of days, the most, and in the Western context, it always seems to be around the winter. We got the Thanksgiving. We're gonna have Christmas. We're gonna have Hanukkah, right? Yeah. And then I said, what could be a better way to, you know, to go into this topic by, what could be better than reviewing the history of the slave trade in America, right? And what could be better? And then I said, yeah, because I've thought about this before, and I've noticed some discrepancies. A lot of times when we talk about slavery, and I think Jade is going to come into this at some point, JTV, and we're going to just keep this topic just strictly reparations. So it's number one, you know, and for the diaspora. So we're going to have a number two and a number three and a number four. So this is the first one, but what was it really like? Slavery. When did it really start in the Americas? Anti-black slavery. I'll just call it that for the purposes of this show. When what is the history of that, and do we all know it? Like when I think about it, I see a lot of people usually point to Haiti, right? And it has significance, Haiti. Let me pull something up here. Let me see. Haiti slave re- revolt, right? Haitian Revolution. Okay, so and if you take a look at this, right, it will show you that. Hope everybody can see this. Let me take a look and see. Yeah, there we go. Boom. It starts off. What does it say here? Let me see. Let me start off here. Haitian Revolution. Haitian. The Haitian Revolution was a successful insurrection by self-liberated slaves against French colonial rule in Santo Domingo, now the sovereign state of Haiti. The revolt began August 22nd, 1791, and ended in 1804. Now, that's the revolt. But is that the beginning of the revolts? That was the one that brought independence. But is that the first revolt in Haiti's history? Yo, Shaka, you might know something about this, man. Let me drop the link because you're from Haiti, and a lot of people start off with this convo in Haiti. But is that really the history of slavery in America, slave revolts in America? Um, and when does it really start? Now, people typically do go to Haiti, like I was saying, but let's see here. When did first slave revolt in Haiti? Let's do that instead. First slave revolt in Haitian history. Boom. Yeah, it's still coming up like as the Haitian Revolution, and you know, it's interesting. This is the Department of State. In any case, it's good to get their perspective on this. But right, 1760s. Right. Well, if you go by this dating of even this, let's say the Haitian Revolution, if you go by the dating, you could see this is the 1700s. So even if you want to say 100 years before that, it's the 1700s, uh, right? Late 1600s. Uh, but oh, let me see here. Not the first one, right? Yeah, it has to be Shaka. Okay, you driving back. Okay, I think before 1804 it was seven. Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out even because it sounds well. I guess they had a series of clashes, and they're pointing to this as the earliest in Haitian history. Now, that's the interesting part about it because it's not the first slave revolts in the Americas. It's not actually, and um, if we go back, the furthest I could actually find myself is in Colombia, to be honest with you. And I've been speaking about that for a minute. But when when I look at it from that perspective, like in Santo Domingo or Haiti today, people look at it as the French, right? And then I thought about it. Okay, so the slave revolts in other parts of the Americas and the Spanish held territories. Here we go. Let's see here. People would be a lot of the people would be speaking Spanish, right? And I'm curious about, is that the state, or is that the case, or is it really that these revolts were not so separate? And my first thought is like, were other slaves aware of the slave revolts happening in other regions? And when I look at the timeline, when I look at Colombia, um, it's starting much earlier than Haiti. The slave revolts are starting in the 1500s. And I'm curious if that's a records thing, like where the discrepancy is in this. It's good to have indigenous rebellions also here, posted here, though. Let me see something, because then we can look at some of the timeline of that too. Especially, I'm sure that would be interesting to Aboriginal people, uh, or Native people. But when I zoom through here, I see 1500s. So let me go to here. Slavery in Colombia. Slavery was practiced up in Colombia from the beginning of the 1600s until its definitive abolition in 1851. Now, the abolition timeline that matches up with, I mean, the final period up until 1851, that matches up with the Haitian Revolution um, timeline. The Haitian Revolution timeline, let's go back to the Haitian Revolution. That is okay, 18. So, hey, so when you look at it from this perspective, in terms of the first foreign state, first state, sovereign state, okay, against the French colonial rule in Santo Domingo, now the sovereign state of Haiti. Um, that revolt ended in a statehood, and I think that's one that's an interesting point to focus on, because if you look at it from that perspective, Haiti might have been the benefactor of slave revolts that began much earlier in the Americas. If you think about it, like, so I would pose the question, were Haitians aware of other slave revolts in the Americas? Particularly, let's look at the map here. Let me go now, bring out the map. What's up, Shaka? Good to see you, man. Long time no see, bro.
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you, bro.
You can hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear
Oh,
you.
okay, all right. Well,
Yeah.
on my end, the level doesn't show with the volume, so I thought it wasn't working, and I thought I
Okay.
was going to type in the chat. Okay. Hey, what's up? Hi to everybody. I see Andrew Abunez in the chat. What's up, VB? We have Stefan. I made a mistake. I wrote Stefan. Stefan P. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I have a few minutes, brother. I'm on my way back to work. What did
Okay.
you ask, brother?
I was looking. It's something I wanted to speak about for a minute, like the in terms of the how the perspective that we have often on slavery, right? And how we taught about slavery and how it's, the things that a lot of people put focus on that we tend to focus on, like, and when we look at that in the Americas, we think often like, aha, we talk a lot about, at least we talk a lot about the Haitian slave revolt. And in that context, I think it's around this wording that they have here and how it resulted in the first state. The Haitian slave result is the first state, sovereign country established by free slaves, but it's not the beginnings of the slave revolts in the Americas.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, of course.
right, and discussing were the Haitians aware of other slave revolts in the Americas, the Haitians speaking French, others in the region speaking Spanish, right? Does that mean they were, because they spoke two different languages, they weren't communicating or that they weren't aware of each other? And I'm saying, like, of course not. Of course they were aware of each other because they're bilingual, right? Essentially, they could understand each other enough in speaking, right? Isn't that a common thing today? Like, if you came across a person that spoke Spanish, because you speak French, how much would you understand? And if this was a neighboring nation, would you understand it anyway as a
Well,
slave?
well, I,
Right,
I I I don't speak Spanish, but when I hear Spanish people speak, there's a lot of root words that are the same. So I won't understand a fair bit of words, but if a Spanish person just speaks quickly, and like, or normal tense, and it will be kind of difficult for me to get the whole thing, but I may catch a little bit of it.
right.
Um, but I don't think that in Haiti or the Dominican Republic that they will be bilingual. You know, I think in the part that we call Haiti now, because obviously it's the same island that was called Hispaniola.
Right.
Um, on what is now Haiti, there will be French speakers. Um, Not so well, obviously they were speaking more Creole, but some were kind of educated. Some had, like,
Like, I
I don't
put it
like
to
to
you
say
like
it
this.
like that, but kind masters, or
Yeah.
so, and maybe in French they will hear their masters complaining about some revolts elsewhere, like somewhere, on in the US or America, if they talked about it. And
Hmm.
maybe also on the part, that is now the Dominican Republic, if the masters over there spoke in Spanish, what I'm saying, and talk about it, maybe, I don't know if they were aware of it. I wouldn't think so, but maybe a few of them kind of heard people talk about it. And also there will be travelers, people traveling, visiting and stuff like that. So yeah.
Hmm. Right, right. Now, when I look at this map, right? What is this? Is this? Let me see something here. Sorry, Haiti. When I look at this
You,
map,
you have
right?
it, yeah,
Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Now I
yeah.
have it. Sorry, I just had to pause to zoom out. Yes, here we go. Now this is what I see when I look at this map, and right beneath Haiti is Venezuela, right, and Colombia, south, right. This is Venezuela. This is Colombia. Can you hear me? Oh, you can't
Oh
see it though.
yeah. No,
Sorry.
no, no, I can see it. I'm just having a look, but yeah, I hear you. I can see it.
Right. And I'm thinking, hmm, when I look at the revolts, I'm just curious about the path because the first one that I've been able to find, um, the reason why I'm asking this is because the first one I've been able to find are the ones in Colombia, which predate that by like almost 2 centuries. right? The ending coincides with the Haitian Revolution, which they say is 1851, right? But the last revolt, right?
1804.
Right. 1851 is when they say that slavery was practiced in Colombia from the beginning
Oh,
of the
Colombia.
16th century until its definitive abolition in 1851. So that coincides with the Haitian Revolution, right?
Well, it's like kind of 50 years after, but I agree with you. There's been many revolts in many different places. Um, Probably Nat Turner's revolt may have been the bloodiest for the people of European descent. But like you said, the difference with Haiti is that it's the first time ever there's a revolt from slaves, and they end up having a country, a state, you know.
Hmm.
But yeah, there were many revolts, and they're not all really known like that, but there were many. And who knows? Maybe we will find out about. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll find out about a few more, but there were indeed many, many in different places, different time. But I think that the slave owners were not happy about people knowing about those revolts, because it's like, bad publicity. It may
Right.
encourage people to do the same, so they probably minimized the revolts whenever they could.
Right. Okay. So look, they got the first rebellion in Colombian history, right? That's dated at 1530. It says here, this is a Wikipedia link, obviously. Let me put that into also the chat real quick here. Let's see here. Boom. Wikipedia. Right. Can that fit in there? Yeah, there it is. Boom.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to leave now because I'm getting back to the place. But it's good talking to you.
Yeah,
I'll
bro.
holler at you later, brother.
Okay, okay, let's wrap. Let's wrap.
All
Be
right,
good.
peace,
Have a
brother.
good day. All
Yeah.
right, peace.
Okay.
One. Yeah, and so it has it dated here in 1530. African slaves frequently rebelled against their masters, either through the practice of cimarronage, cimarronage, Kimaranage, maybe? Yeah, maybe that's it. Or through armed rebellion. In Santa Marta in 1530, just 5 years after the city was built, a slave rebellion destroyed the town. The city would be rebuilt only to suffer a new rebellion in 1550. So this is like 2 centuries before, right? Um, the Haitian Revolution, pretty much, right? And let's see here. Although it was certainly possible for an individual slave to flee their masters and go unnoticed among the free black population of a large city, it was precarious. It was a precarious situation in which the fugitive was a constant risk of discovery. Therefore, it is natural that many acts of flight were organized and directed towards communities of Maroons, right, in which they could find security. Now, what does that mean, Maroons? And let me see what that's. Maroons are descendants of Africans in the Americas and islands of the Indian Ocean who escaped from slavery and formed their own settlements. They often mixed with indigenous peoples, eventually evolving into a separate Creole cultures. Right now, let me see here. It says islands. Now, another factor here. Um, in this time in 1550s, and they're discussing the first slave revolts in South America, right? At this time, I believe the mass is different. It's not called uh, Colombia. In all actuality, it would be called Grand Colombia, which would be this. This is Haiti, but Grand Colombia would be this region here. And let me pull up a map of Grand Colombia real quick. Let me pull that up onto Wiki too. Yeah, so we can be accurate about this. Let me see here. Boom. Here we go. Now this is Haiti and Colombia. Now let me pull this one up. See here. And this is Grand Colombia. Grand Colombia, officially the Republic of Colombia, was a state that encompassed much of South America and part of Southern Central America from 1819 to 1831. Right. So this is prime. Think about this now. This is right. This is in that same time span when we said the the end of the slave revolts in South America. I said coincide with the Haitian uh, revolution, which was slave revolts that made it a sovereign nation today, the one we know it today. This timeline is very interesting. Um, Grand Colombia was a state that encompassed much of South America and part of Southern Central America from 1819 to 1831. It included present day Colombia, mainland Ecuador, uh, including the Galapagos Islands. That's also very key here because when we talk about the Maroons, we talk about where Haiti is located, we talk about where Grand Colombia is located, or Colombia, and in proximity to these slave revolts and populations that are migrating, moving. So far, that's what I hear, because the Maroons migrated, they moved around. They didn't just, they escaped slavery and made other settlements, right? So, included present day Colombia, mainland Ecuador, Panama, Venezuela, along with parts of Peru, southwestern Brazil, Guyana. You see? Now, let me go to a map so we can really see what that looks like. Hold on, is that the best map we got here? We got several of them. Maybe that's the map we want. But let me go to this map here. Hope y'all can see that. Let me double check this. Yeah, y'all can see that now. So this is the region. This is the area, Grand Colombia. So if we look at the timeline, we're talking about the 1500s. Let me go here. African rebellions in Colombia, right? African slaves frequently rebelled against their masters either through the practice of camaronnage or through armed rebellion. I got to look and see what that term means. In Santa Marta in 1530, just 5 years after the city was built, a slave rebellion destroyed the town. The city would be rebuilt only to suffer a new rebellion in 1550. Now, let me go to Santa Marta here. Let's go to Santa Marta real quick and see what this is looking like. 2 seconds, y'all. I'm going to find Santa Marta on the map for y'all real quick so we can. Aha! Here we go. So let me pull that up for y'all. Yeah, let's see. Santa Marta would be this region. Would that be here? Let me see here. Santa Marta. Can y'all see this? Let's see here. Santa Marta. Right. But let me go back here. Santa Marta more specifically. Aha. Here we go. Santa Marta, that has to be Colombia, right? That has to be Colombia. Today, that's even present day Colombia. So let me go back to the other map and see if I can see this. Santa Marta. Let's see here. Right, this map. Let me see here. That would be Santa Marta. Right. This is the area outlined by green here. Santa Marta. Y'all see that here? Santa Marta? Yep, exactly. So that's next to Cartagena. I'm sure a lot of people have heard about that area, Cartagena, right? That's also a famous slave port. But so it's this region here. It's this region here, Santa Marta and Cartagena, right? This region right there. So let's see if y'all can see this. So if I go back to go back to the original map here, then it's there. We can find it. Just wanted to make sure. Let's see here. So we go here, and that is right here. You see, that's here between this area, these two areas. I guess it's called Barranquilla today. This close to Barranquilla. Let me see. Let me just. There it is. It's next to Barranquilla, so it's to the right. Right. You see here. So here's Cartagena, and then when we zoom out, we're talking about this proximity, Port-au-Prince. You can see Port-au-Prince is right here. You see that? Now, first of all, that's another marker. There is direct ocean path. You could go straight with a vessel from here to here. Is that a possibility? So, and then were slaves being traded from island to island? How does information spread? Um, so let me go back now to Haiti and the African revolts here. Let me go back. Let me see here. Change it up the screen again. Let's see. Boom. 2 seconds here. Okay. Right here, slavery in Colombia. Right. So, not all rebellion activities ended in flight. In several cases, the threat of revolt was used as a method within collective bargaining. In 1768, in the province of Santa Marta, a group of slaves wounded a foreman who they accused of ill treatment when their master sent a couple of white men to subdue them. The slaves killed one of them. Far from being intimidated, the rebels gave their master an ultimatum. If he did not agree to their demands, they would burn down the entire estate and escape to live with the brave Indians. Without further remedy, the master accepting their demands, swearing to forgive them for the revolt, stopping the mistreatment, and agreeing that if the slaves were ever sold, this should be done collectively so as not to divide the families. That's a key element of reparations, too. The trauma that that's created and confusion, really. And yeah, and just outright degrading, inhumane. The owners are agreed to provide the co-workers with a good quantity of tobacco and brandy as compensation for the abuses. Similar incidents occurred in, okay, here we go. Here's more to the timeline. Similar incidences occurred in Neiva, Neiva in 1773. Neiva is the capital department of Huila. Okay, it is located in the valley of the Magdalena River in south central Colombia, which a municipal population of 357,392 persons live. It is one of the most important cities in southern Colombia, mainly because of its strategic geographical location. So let me look that up. Neiva. Let's see where that is located. Excuse me. Let's see where this is located. Okay. Aha. Wait a second. This one doesn't really review. This one doesn't show it. Let me go back. That's interesting. It shows it here. Aha. Okay. Okay. I know what to do now. Let me see. Go to. I'll type this in on the maps here. Go back here. So maps. Let me do that. All right. So there we have it. This is it on the map. Zoom it out. Zoom it out. Okay, so it is. There it is. Right there. That's deep. This is deep in Colombia. But this is, I guess they would call this. This is close to Cali. So I guess this is like Pacifica. I guess right. This is on the Pacific, which is interesting. Closer to the Pacific. Now, before the first one was here in the north of and on the Atlantic side, which obviously is a straight shot from Haiti to Haiti, right? With by ship. Which okay, but this is further in. Okay, that's also interesting. So let me go back to this one now. Um, yeah, let's see here. The slave revolt is not up. Oh, here it is. Must be here. We go back. Right, here we go. So, and also Kukata in 17, Kukuta, excuse me, Kukuta in 1780. Okay, this is, yeah. Now, this is leading up to the Haitian uh, revolt, revolution. 1780. Let me just check one thing. 1791 is when the Haitian Revolution began. So this is right. This is 10 years before Kukata. And if I'm correct, there might be even more instances here. But let's go to Kukata real quick and just see where is Kukata located. That will be 1790. Okay. 1790. Now we're starting to something's starting to be revealed. 1790. Let's see here. Okay. Let me see maps. Kukata. Kukata, right? Colombia. Yes. Kukata. Now let me see where this is geographically located in Colombia. Okay, so this you can see Kukata is here. Kukata is Atlantic. It's closer to Venezuela. It's closer to Venezuela. Yeah, Kukata. It's closer to Venezuela, and so this is So this is more. This is more Atlantic, the Atlantic side. But let me just check one thing. What is Let me go back into this and read about Kukata real quick. That's Kukata. So let's go back. Kukata. Right. Let me see here. Okay, Kukata. Officially San Jose de Ducata. It's the capital department of north of Santander, the nucleus metropolitan area of Kukata. Now let me just control F here. Did I do control? Oops. Control F. Right. Slave. Okay, let's say here revolt. Okay. Okay. So they don't mention that specifically here. All right. Okay. So Kukata and similar incidents occurred in Naiva, 1773, and Kukata, Colombia, 1780, in which the slaves had reached a sort of agreement with the Jesuit priest. Society of Jesus, also known as the Jesuit Order of the the Jesuits, is a religious order of the clerics, regular and of pontification right for men in the Catholic Church headquartered in Rome. It was founded in 1540 by Ignatius of the Loyola and six companions with the approval of the Pope III. The third Pope? Let's see here. With who? Damn, that's an interesting footnote. Six approval of Pope Paul the Third. Okay, Pope Paul the Third. Yeah. Okay. So this dude approved it. Pope John the Third. Now let's go back here. Which slave had reached a sort of agreement. They reached kind of an agreement with the Jesuit priest, in which their treatment was more similar to that of free peasants in a sharecropping. Look at this. They got Egypt up on there. Sharecropping. Okay. Being granted with the remuneration for their crops and with holidays. When a new master refused to uphold what the slaves considered their customary rights, they did not hesitate to go into open rebellion and demand that the colonial government authorities recognize their rights. Open rebellion. They didn't hesitate. They did not hesitate in Kukata. All right. Colombia in 1780. They reached an agreement. Now this is leading up to the Haitian Revolution. The Haitian Revolution has not even begun yet. Right? The Haitian Revolution, but to be cautious about it. What did they say? 1791. But if you give or take 10 years, but in any case, that's not really so important because like if they overlap each other, I'm assuming they overlap each other, and that's my whole point. But also that there's a pathway of revolution. There's a path of communication. There's a pathway of migrations of people right through this region that we today call the Americas, right? That we call the Americas. Here we go. Let's see here. Let's see here. Right. And that pathway, where did that pathway how did it move these revolutions? How did the word get around? Who affected who? Haitians spoke French, Spanish spoke Spanish. Did they understand each other? Could they, could one, were they influenced by each other? A lot of us look to Haiti because Haiti was that revolt that ended up in a sovereign state. But if you look at the list of slave revolts in the Americas, across the Americas, the first ones are listed as being in Colombia. Colombia, here, which is down here. This is Colombia. This is Venezuela. But in the, even in this period, what overlaps that is the breakup of Grand America, of Grand Colombia, excuse me, Grand Colombia, which is a region run by the Spanish, which encompasses Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, parts of Peru, Guyana. You see, this whole area broke up. It used to be Grand Colombia. And when did it break up? When did it break up? It broke up. The separation of Panama from Colombia was formalized in November 1903 with the establishment of the Republic of Panama from the independence of Panama and Spain in 1821. Panama had simultaneously declared independence from Spain and joined itself to the Confederation of Grand Colombia through the Independent Act of Panama. See, these political moments coincide with the slave revolts. This breakup of Grand Colombia, it coincides with it. Let me throw this in the link just so folks can follow me. Now, first of all, sorry about that if I didn't put it in earlier. Here we go. Grand Columbia. Here's Grand Columbia. Boom. Right. There we go. Separation of Grand Columbia. Now that overlaps. We got the we're just in the how many more slave revolts? We're covering the slave revolts in Colombia beginning in 1530. Now we're in 1700s, 1780, which is not which is uh which we're not even we haven't even covered them all, but 1780 gets close to the Haitian Revolution, which begins in 1791. So we're leading up to the Haitian Revolution. Um, yeah, so let me put this one in slavery and also in here in the chat for y'all in Colombia, and then I'm gonna put the Haitian Revolution in there also. Let's see here for folks that want to see this. So this is, you know, actually, let me, this pattern right here, so far we got it from right here, uh, not Cartagena, but a town next to Cartagena, which is, which is called, what's the name of this town? Santa Marta, right? It's called Santa Marta. And, right, and Santa Marta is here. Uh, it's here. And that's, as you can see, it's no, it's this area right here next to Barranquilla. That's a straight shot to Haiti, right? Now, but then we got another town, which is what's the name of the other town? Neiva? No, Cucuta, which is located here towards Venezuela, right around here, right around here. You see, here it is, right here, Cucuta. There it is, boom. That's not far from Venezuela. Let me take one more look here and see something. Cucuta. Cucuta is here. See, that's on the border of what today. Now, I find that interesting. Here's another factor here. If you take Grand Colombia into account, which is Venezuela, Colombia, Peru, all these other countries put together, um, and then you look at the border is, where the two countries separate today, the breakup of Grand Colombia. This is on the border. This is on the border. So, how much of a factor was were the slave revolts really in America's history in terms of the new states being founded? Is it just Haiti that was founded by these revolts? Haiti is the one that we say, it resulted in a independent free slave state, you know. But when you look at the history of Grand Colombia, how much of a factor did these slave revolts have in the history, in the making of these other countries, period? Right? Now let me see something here. Let me go back to slavery in Colombia. Boom. So y'all can see this one. Now, okay, so 1780, leading up to the Haitian Revolution, in which the slaves would reach a sort of right, Jesuit priests, sharecropper. Okay, so we got to that part. Now, on the other hand, it's important to recognize that the resistance strategies of the Black women enslaved during the colonial period, excuse me, were aimed at confronting colonial power. Excuse me, 2 seconds. Yeah, we're aimed. Sorry about that. Do I have this right? We're aimed at confronting the colonial power by resorting to the judicial demands. Let me see something here. Okay. On the other hand, it is important to recognize that the resistance strategies of Black women enslaved during the colonial periods were aimed at confronting colonial power by resorting to judicial demands. So that means in the courts or in the legal code. Okay. So let's see here. However, the most famous slave rebellion in New Granada, which is part of Colombia at this time, I believe, was undoubtedly that of the slaves of San Basilio de Palenque, led by the Bincos Bihoyo, Biho, Bio, Bioho. The rebellion was successful that on August 23rd, 1691, the King of Spain was forced to issue a certificate ordering the general freedom of the Palenques and their right to land. Now, let me go to here. This is 16, what? 91. Let me see where this is on the map here. Ooh. Okay, so this is another name for New Granada is essentially Grand Colombia. Now, the viceroy, the viceroyalty of New Granada, Spanish. Okay, let me see. Also called the viceroyalty of the New Kingdom of Grenada or viceroyalty of Santa Fe. That's an interesting word. Was the name given on the 27th of May, 1717, to the jurisdiction. Okay, that would be 60 years before the Haitian Revolution, or roughly, to the jurisdiction of the Spanish Empire in northern South America, corresponding to modern Colombia, Ecuador, Panama, Venezuela, created in 1717 by the King Philip. Let's see here. Let me see his image a little bit better. Of Spain from the 1st of November 1700. Right, to, okay, he was the king from the, okay, so as a part of the new territorial control policy, it was suspended in 1723 for financial problems and was restored in 1739 until the independence movement suspended it again in 1810. Now it says financial problems. I wonder what those financial problems could be. I wonder. Let me see something. Okay, I like to just make sure I'm not missing any relevant information to that there. Okay. I wonder what that could be. With that financial, what those financial problems were. Could it be these slave revolts? Could it be these slave revolts in Colombia? However, most famous slave rebellion was in New Granada, right? So that was suspended, and undoubtedly that of the slaves of San Basilio de Palenque. So let's go and see where this is. Let's see where this is physically located. Where is? Okay, so they don't want to throw that one up there. Let's see where that is on the map. See where that one is on the map here. Map. Oops. Map. Oh, actually, yeah. Let me do it this way. I would do that because y'all can see this right now. Oh no, you can't. You can't see it right now. Okay. Let me switch over to this. Sorry, y'all. Here we go. San Basilio de Palenque. Now let's see. It should pop up on the map here. Now, let me zoom out and see where this geographical region is. Okay. This is on, see, this is why I do that. This is on the Atlantic side. This is on the Atlantic side. Let me do that one more time. This is on the Atlantic side. Right. So it's outside of Cartagena. And this seems to be okay. So, yep. Okay. And that would be this waterway. It's a waterway there. Okay. Okay. So that's southeast of Cartagena, but and that's a direct shot again across the water as we discussed to Haiti. But that's where these folks are at now. If I go back, let's continue. Um, right now, okay, New Grenada was undoubtedly that okay. However, the most famous slave rebellion in the New Grenada was undoubtedly that of the slaves of San Basilio de Palenque, led by, and this is 1961. So this is almost a century before the Haitian Revolution. Yes. Now let's see who Binkos was, since we're here at Binkos. Binkos Biho, also known as Domingo Biho, was a Mandinka and South American leader who escaped from the slave port of Cartagena with 10 others and founded San Basilio de Palenque. So he escaped Cartagena, which is again on the port. That's a straight shot to Haiti. Then known as the village of Maroons, located in what is now North Colombia, but we know that's Cartagena. So that's on the Atlantic, right? Straight shot over the water to Haiti. In 1713, it became the first free village in the Americas by decree of the King of Spain when he gave up sending his troops on futile missions to attack their fortified mountain highway. Yes, let me throw this in the chat here for folks. Yeah, I'm just having fun reviewing this history, y'all. I could do this all day long, to be honest with you, but because I actually had a timeline. I have it I have it. I don't know. It's on maybe one of my drives, but I actually did a timeline of this revolt before. So even though I'm doing this one live, I had one that I've pre-prepared. So I've seen some of this information before, but let's see here. Uh, wow. Whoa, 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 whoa. B- Biho was born. Biho was born into a royal family of Guinean Bissau. In Guinea-Bissau, he was of Mandinkan origin. He was seized by the Portuguese slave trader Pedros Gomes Rienel, sold to businessman Juan Palacio, and later, after transportation to what is now Colombia in South America, sold again to the Spaniard Alonso del Campo in 1596 in Cartagena. Damn, that's a lot of being sold before 15. I mean, up until 1596. He made his first escape when the boat when the boat that was transporting him down the Magdalena River, okay, sank. We're going to look at the Magdalena River in a second, just to see about these waterways. He was recaptured, but escaped again in 1599 into the marshy lands southeast of Cartagena, right, which is on the Atlantic. He organized an army that came to dominate all of the Montes de Maria region. The de Maria is an isolated group of small mountains near the northern coast of Colombia in the Caribbean region. The Montes, okay, so they're talking about Grand Colombia. This could be Venezuela. Let me see something real quick. Okay, Montes de Maria. Let me see where that's located real quick. Ooh, okay, yeah. So that is how close is that to? Let me come back here. Okay, near the Caribbean. That's significant that they would say that, but okay. Caribbean region, West Indies. You see, okay. All right. Magdalena River. Let me just check this one more time, y'all, while we're here. This is the Magdalena River. You see that? This is the Magdalena River. That river goes straight to that that town. What's the town that we talking about? Uh, it is the town called. Where is this town at? Is it near? Near is something. Where is it at? I'm sorry. Did I get lost in here? I'm gonna look it up again. It is going straight to Neiva. Neiva, right. Now let me see here. Yeah, that came up and because of a revolt in 1768. So that's interesting because this right here, Barranquilla, let me go back here. Barranquilla. So there was a slave revolt there. There was a slave revolt there in this area. Let's see here. Let me go back. Let me go back. Slave revolt here. Slave revolt here. Let me look this up. Okay. Mouse. Navia. Here we go. Oh no, it's not Novia. It's the other one. I'm sorry. It's Kara. It's Kukata. Kuku. Kukuka. What is it? Kukuta. Kukuta. I'm sorry. Damn, I'm so mixing this up. Kukuta. No, it's not Kukuta. It's San Marta. It's San Marta. I'm sorry. So that, let me Google it. Let me go in real quick to this. San Marta is the neighbor. Okay, so that's where the river leaves at. The river leaves here. That's interesting. That's interesting. So these San Marta and Barranquilla, they are two major ports, both facing Haiti. That's interesting. So this waterway, Barranquilla, that's a major port. So let me go back now. Sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure I got that. Was clear about that. After his boat, he made his first escape when the boat that was transporting him down the Magdalena River sank. He was captured but escaped again in 1599 into a marshy land southeast of Cartagena, right? That's the same region. Another port, too. He organized an army and came to dominate all of the Montes de Maria region. Wow. Wow. That region right there, that's a big region. Even north of this, apparently, is what they're talking about here. So even more. So that's interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. All right. But I'm not surprised. It makes perfect sense. He was recaptured. Okay. He organized the army to dominate all of the Montes de Maria region. He also formed an intelligence network and used the information collected to help organize more escapes and to guide the runaway slaves into the liberated territory known as settlement. He used the title King of Acapulco. Wow. Now, all of this is happening lead up to the Haitian Revolution. This is all leading up to the Haitian Revolution. This is not, oh, what's up, Abitai? Hey, good morning. This is the Haitian Revolution hasn't even started yet, but this has. This been going on since 1500s. Let's go back. This been going on in Colombia, in Grand Colombia, more specifically, um, in the 1500s. Let's see here. Where does it say? Pacific Coast, right? African rebellions, right? Santa Marta, 1530. So this has been leading up to that, right? So let's see here. He organized an army that came to dominate all of the Montes de Maria region. He also formed an intelligence network and used the information collected to help organize more escapees and to guide the runaway slaves into liberated territory known as settlements. Yes. Okay. On 18 on the July 18th, 1605, the governor of Cartagena, Geronimo Casasola, unable to defeat the Maroons, offered a peace treaty to Viejo, recognizing the autonomy of the Matuna Viejo Palenque. That's the region he ruled, accepting his entrance into the city armed and dressed in Spanish fashion. While the Palenque promised to stop receiving more runaway slaves, cease their aid in escape attempts, and stop addressing Viejo as king. Whoa. Okay, so that's what they got in return. So they had to give up the leader of the revolution. And this is his statue. This is an African Maroonian man right here. He's mixed. Now, what does that say about the Black Aboriginals? I mean, I wonder where that fits into Black Aboriginal history, where that intersects with them, because I don't know. So anybody can tell me that, let me know. But in any case, we know where it intersects with diaspora, African diaspora history. So, but they say he was partially of maroon descent or native descent, which means typically it's maroon when they're mixed. It's like a. But in any case, that's what they did. They gave up their leader for the demands that they had, for all the other demands to be met. Peace was finalized in 1612, which is about 80 years before the Haitian Revolution, under the governorship of Diego Fernandez Velasco. The treaty was violated by the Spaniards in 1619. Oh, that didn't take long. When they captured Viejo as he was walking carelessly into the city. He was hanged and quartered on March 16th, 1621. Governor, I wonder how accurate that story is. Governor Garcia Garon, who ordered the execution, argued bitterly that it was dangerous to the extent to which Viejo was respected in the population, and that his lies and enchantment would drive the nations of Guyana away from the city. Guyana. I wonder what that means. Would drive the nations of Guyana away from the city. Is he talking about a people? The betrayal contributed to the history of distrust of Colombia's government. By the end of the 17th, well, damn, by the end of the 17th century, which is the beginning of the Haitian Revolution, right? Because the Haitian Revolution kicks off in 1791. By the end of the 17th century, Montes de Maria had over 600 Maroons under the command of Domingo Padilla, who claimed for himself the title of captain, while his wife Jane adopted that of viceroy and successfully challenged further attempts at sovereignty from the colonial authorities. San Basilio de Palenque was declared masterpieces of the oral and intangible heritage of humanity by UNESCO at about 80 kilometers and 50 miles east of Cartagena. Hills of strategic value used as lookout posts still bear the names of the runaway neighborhood. Wow. Sensarian, Mahates, and Gambote. Wow. Damn, this is see, I didn't know these last little details here. I was somewhat aware of this, but maybe I'm just getting reshocked. Because when you don't go over this information often, you forget some of it. Okay, this is the region they're talking about. Mahates. Let me see here. Right. The municipality of Mahates, that's an interesting name too, Mahati. I heard that name before and I didn't know what it meant. Isn't that something? I think one of my homeboys' father might be from Guyana because he named his son Mahati. And I never considered that before. One of my homeboys, his name is Mahati. So I'm thinking, damn, is his father from South America? Also covers the village, right? Palenque Basilio, inhabited mainly by Afro Colombians, which are direct descendants of African slaves brought by the Spanish during the colonization of Americas and have preserved their ancestral traditions. In 2005, the Palenque del San Basilio village was proclaimed. Okay, so there we have it. All right, let me go back now. Boom. Okay, so right, boom. Okay, end of the 17th century, the colonial authorities tried again to start a great campaign against the Maroon Palenquas, but despite succeeding in destroying some villages, the entire campaign turned out to be a failure since the targeted black communities managed to preserve their freedom and simply moved south. Damn, this gives South America a different look um, and significance to, I believe, to the abolition of slavery in North America. And the reason why I'm reviewing this is because a lot of times we look at it in bits and pieces, and that even can be found in African America, like or American, the U.S. American history, how it's told. It's not told from a macro perspective, you know. It's told from it's like the U.S. start, ended slavery here, had abolitions, and but you never really get a full timeline and get to see the people examine some of the real movements of the people, the real movements of the revolt, the real movements of the African diaspora, the real movements of of reparations. I mean, what's behind it? Uh, yeah. So this is pretty interesting. Let me see here now. Semi Rama Sim Samara Naj Maroons are descendants of Africans in the Americas Island. Okay, so these are Maroons. This must be maybe a Spanish version of that. In the American islands, okay, would continue until the 19th century with the abolition of slavery, after which the former slaves would exercise new forms of resistance seeking to retaliate against their former masters. That's, I guess, the end of the end of the 1800s, 19th century. They're talking about. They would roam They would roam the fields, tearing down fences, raiding property, and punishing conservatives with their whips. This period was named by the president Jose Hilario Lopez as the Democratic Frolics. Would you call that violent revolution? Okay, here we go. I mean, look, this is ongoing. This story about this story. I'm gonna segue out of South America here, but this story here, it's overlapping the entire period. Like South America seemed like it started these revolts, and it's still ongoing. During before the Haitian Revolution, after the Haitian Revolution, during the Haitian Revolution. So there have been townships. There have been townships that were founded in South America, free townships of freed slaves in South America before the founding of Haiti, before Haiti was independent. Yo, Jade, what's up, man? Yo, let me drop the link, Jade. Let me see here. You know, yeah, that's a fact here as we sing. But let me continue here. Yeah, hop on up, Jade. Uh, let me see here. All right, this goes all the way up to to the mid 1800s. Yes, this goes all the way up to the mid 1800s. So the revolts turn into abolition. Yeah. So this is a this from the 1500s to the mid 1800s. The mid 1500s to the mid 1800s. Let me go to here. Let me check here again real quick. Right. 1530. That's 3 centuries, y'all. That's 3 centuries. That's 3 centuries of slave revolt in South America, starting with independent townships before Haiti was independent, um, free again, of slavery, before the independence of Haiti, before it was, um, before the slaves freed themselves in Haiti, before the Haitian Revolution, there were townships in South America founded by freed slaves, right? And let me zoom back out so we can give people some perspective here, um, visually on what we're talking about here. Boom. Now, see this river here, the San Maria. Is that the San Maria River? I believe so. Right here, you know, uh, this is Barranquilla. This is Santa Marta. These are two ports. But this river goes in to townships that we just read about regarding our brother here in Kakuta, right? Where is that? It's on this river. Like, I got to keep a closer look at this, but this damn, how deep is that? Kakuta? Let me go back to this. Kakuta? Let me see here. Right. Wow, that's some distance, but by that river, this man he's traveled this length, um, for freedom. That's interesting. I did not know that. I didn't know that at all. Beoho is his name. Beoho is the brother that he tracked a big area, his history, and led and spawned a lot of slave revolts. He wasn't the first though, but his seems to overlap that period. Let me just review that one more time here. But if you could see here, Barranquilla, Barranquilla, I'm sorry, and Cartagena, there's straight shots across this Caribbean Sea, across the ocean here. There's straight shots to Haiti. So then you have Aruba and these nations, but just to just to take another look at something here, let me go back to Wiki real quick. Stop this. Boom, boom. Let me see here. We have that. We have this. We have this. Okay. Let me go to this one and now go up. Let me see here. What is it? Slavery in the British and French Caribbean. Let me just check something out in terms of these numbers here. Well, the British, yeah. What about the French? So, British in the Caribbean, England colonized the islands of Saint Kitts and Barbados in 1623 and 1627. But this is a century after the first slave revolts in South America, against the Spanish in their territories. So the Spanish had established territories, a century before all of this. Um, but let me just rephrase that real quick. Let me see here. Just to give us some context, because there's always a center mass that affects other areas. And as we heard, Bioho, his revolt led to other revolts, and they say in South America. And I think they also um, mention as far as Brazil, after the breaking up of Grand Colombia. But let me see here. This is interesting. This is much later, though. This is in the okay. This is much later, but then again, the Haitian Revolution was much later than the first revolutions in North America in Colombia. This is so. It almost seems like, if you ask me, next time I do this, I'm gonna make some live notes and a map with a timeline here. Um, So it almost looks like the central mass, of the revolts started in Colombia and spread out. So that would mean like if I go to this, go back to maps, right? Go out here, zoom out. It seems like center, as far as the revolts, they're centered here. They're centered here. It's happening here first. And then you know what I'm gonna do? I can do that. I know what I can do right here. I'm gonna take a picture of this. Zoom in. Let me see. Zoom in. Yeah. Right. Close this. Is that down right? Let me see this one. Y'all can't see me right now. 2 seconds. Just wanna edit something for now. Yeah. Right. So I can say save. Okay, with Google. All right. Let me see. Open this one up. Now, can I put this up on let me try to share screen here so y'all can see what I'm doing. I'm on a window. Yeah, okay, y'all can see this now. Let me go over to this real quick. See something here. Oh, wait a second. Sorry about that. Let me see 2 seconds here. Can y'all see this? Can y'all see what I'm doing here? Let me see. Right, okay. So, back to this. Boom. It seems like here, the epicenter and the reaction looks a little like this from center outward. And let me just put this like that. Let me see here. Right. And then let me put this here. You know what to do. Copy this one. Copy. Do that one like that. Let's see here. Right. To me, this is what it's looking like right here. I don't know if y'all can see this. I'm going to do something like this. Then I'm going to write this. Take the text down. Let me see it. Let me see something here. Yes. Now let me see something here. Let me take all of this, put it together. All right, y'all, here we go. So let me take that off and then share screen again. Go back over to this one. Let's see here. Yeah, sorry, y'all. This is what it's looking like to me. This American slave revolt epicenter. Yes. And starting from Colombia, actually, uh, and possibly responsible for the breakup of Grand Colombia and the epicenter, not only the breakup of Grand Colombia, but possible, but also the independence of Haiti, and also the beginning of, you know, it overlaps the same period as the revolutions in the US, the beginnings of the abolition movements in the US. I mean, I would like someone to do a better epicenter presentation, right? Not for competition's sake, but just for education's sake. Is because I would like to update mine. I would like to update my view of reparations, slave revolts, history, you know, and how they played a role. My view of how we look at them in terms of the role they played in the founding of new territories, new states. Um, you know, not only states but also communities, right? Townships, right? Um, Now, if you look at the outer rim, these revolts, or even the center rim, even the one in the center. Let me see. Let me. Can y'all see what I'm pointing at? I don't think so. I think I need to put it up. I need to pull it up in another window. Let me see here if I can do that. Yeah, I can pull it up in another window here. That's better for everybody to look at. Then you can see exactly what I'm pointing at. Uh, Let me see here. What do I do? I gotta close this one. Oh, okay, I got it. I go like this. All right. So let me see. Let me go to this one now. Share screen window. Is that this one? Boom. Y'all can see this. So this center area right here, I would guess that the timings from in these two areas, 2 into 3, right? So area 2, 3, and out, right? Or this will be area 2. I'm sorry. This is the epicenter. This is area 2, and this is area 3. I'm suspecting that area 2 in this circumference, in this circle, this would be the second stage. I'm guessing that the timelines, I mean, this is going to be interesting. When we look over here, this is the beginning of Brazil. You see? Brazil's right here, y'all. Brazil's right here. You see? Brazil begins in the same area, in the same, you know, if you look at distance, as Haiti, Cuba, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama. This is the outer, this is the area 2. But, and this would be the epicenter. I'm not too sure if these mountain regions, how that overlaps, but I would say some of this might overlap, sure. Especially when but no, actually, no. No, this is the epicenter. None of that overlaps. Nope. Not according to the timeline I have so far. And I would think that Miami, Guatemala, Ecuador, out here in this region, French Guyana, possibly. Yes, we looked at the time for that. They that more so coalesced though with the second area here, you know. Yeah, actually. So maybe there is some, maybe the, yeah, this area, this might need some more details. But I'm going to use this map right here, and I'm going to add timelines. I'm going to add timelines for each slave revolt, and then I'm going to update y'all next week when I do this topic again. I'm gonna update everybody on that, and I think that's going to be an interesting perspective to come at it from. Let me check in and see what's here. Okay, yeah, Jade, you still here? But in any case, yeah, y'all, it's been great. I'm going to get back on this real soon, and show you some updates. But this, I believe, is one of the things we can do when we talk about reparations movements is to get a clearer understanding of what really happened. Um, how significant are these revolts in the foundings of nations, right? Because how we discuss reparations um, is paramount, to what we get. I mean, it's like you only get what you can communicate. You can only you can only create the atmosphere that you wish through exhibiting these details. If you want understanding, if we can expect understanding, we have to be able to communicate about the topic effectively. Yo, Jade, what's up, bro?
Hey, bro, how you doing? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
yeah, you can see I just got it started a little earlier, but you can continue, man. I was expecting you hop up, and of course, go for it, man. You can share your screen if you like and everything.
Okay, you can finish up, and I can. Where are you? I think you're in
Yeah,
South
this is my
America.
this is my new map. See, I'm doing like
Brilliant.
a review, like a timeline and review to get a concept of the epicenter. Like how you do with earthquakes. You
Yes,
or you right? We look at where the epicenter starts, and we don't say it happened here and it didn't
and
grow
it's
to
spread it
affect
out.
other areas, right? And that's my view of slavery, how we should view it. Where did it start and how did it spread out? You know why? Because that humanizes the experience more. That makes it so that, wait a second, these people over here was talking to these people over here. They made plans, they collaborated, they organized, and that organized resistance, that format of resisting, that expanded and spread.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And one of the things that we establish here is that, look, I mean, if you just look at it from the timeline of the first slave revolts, documented slave revolts, they
Mm.
starting off in 1500s. That's not the Haitian Revolution. That's
Really?
on before, and a century before the Haitian Revolution, there was already free townships of slaves that revolted in South America.
In
Free
South America?
townships agreed to by the principalities of Spain and all of this stuff. They had to agree to it. And then what else we reviewed? We also reviewed the breakup of Gran Colombia, from Gran Colombia to Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Panama. All these
Okay.
countries, and how that time frame overlaps the Haitian Revolution also. And you see what I mean? How that those things
Right.
happen, it not overlaps, that happens at the same time. And so what's the relevance of the slave revolts to to defining these nations? What's the true relevance of them? And so it's
Yeah.
important how we talk about it, because if we don't see it in its entirety, we might miss its entirety. We might miss the magnitude. We might miss what the relevance of these revolts, the real relevance of them. You see
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. 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 You carry on. Yeah. You're right there. I didn't realize South America. Um.
You see where the epicenter is, where I have the epicenter, right?
Yeah. You said it was near Cartagena.
Yeah,
Um.
exactly. It's in the
Yeah.
north. That's the
Along the coast.
epicenter. That's the
Right.
epicenter, bro.
Wow.
Everything in that little circle there on the landmass, or maybe
Yes.
these islands too, but on that land, on the what do they call it? Mainland, in that area. That's where it started, in that central part, and
Right.
spread
Right.
out according to the timeline. Then it
Right.
spread out. So then it spread to let's say Brazil, Puerto Rico,
Right.
Haiti, Dominican Republic, and
Yes.
Panama, right? That's what the timeline says. I would like some people to add on to this timeline.
Yeah,
And
we
what?
need some time. Maybe we could do a key, and you can do the in different colors, the circles,
Right.
and
Matter
maybe
of fact,
show
yep.
when the you know, from say when Columbus had their revolution and how it spreaded. Maybe
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
could be
Mm-hmm.
color coded,
Yeah. I'm gonna color code
and
this right now while we're talking about it.
yeah, that could be printed up and shared amongst the younger people. I think
Print
that's
it up and
something
share it.
yeah, because I think
Yeah.
that's something that's been missed out. Definitely from my knowledge of slavery,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't have much um, studies about South America.
Right.
You know, we went all the way down the Lesser Antilles, um, but mostly we were in the Caribbean. We were focusing on,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
obviously, as you said, like Brazil has has a massive received a large amount of slaves through the Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
So the Portuguese came up first with because what it was, the Portuguese were the last to kind of get into the sea, if you see what I mean, from Europe, because
Mm-hmm.
the slavery was from. I mean, you could even say from the biblical days, if you want to take it from a biblical standpoint. But it was slavery was around the world, okay, also in Africa, everywhere, okay,
Mm-hmm.
people were slaves, but the international trade as such
Right.
um was a different
Well,
phase.
check this out, bro.
Mm.
It's actually. Can you see that now? I just updated that.
Yes,
Um,
yes, you
you
need a
you
key at the
know,
bottom now.
yeah. What's so interesting? Oh, actually, my fault. I think I made an error. Did I update this correctly? Can you
So you
see
got
this?
red.
Hold on. Let
uh,
me hide this one. You can see it now. Right. I got red. Now check this out. There was an area here where also in the timeline today where we discussed the the reasoning for the breakup of the Grand Canary. And
right,
that was economic reasons. So these slave revolts are happening, and it appears they're creating the economic turmoil to the Spanish, where the Spanish has to make these bargaining, has to go into bargaining about this slavery and even sell off territories, get rid of territories. I mean, look I'm gonna go back in here and outline it. And then once the video is freed, I'm gonna put some timestamps on there that
yeah,
people might find interesting. But it's clear that the revolts had an effect occurred at the same time the Spanish um, articulated in writing that they were having economic problems, and that led to the reasoning of why they broke up,
right,
why the Grand Columbia broke up in the first place. So, and that wouldn't be surprising, but again, it goes back into the significance, how we frame the significance of these slave revolts, and the significance that they have in the foundings of different nations. That's key. You see what I mean?
yeah,
Because that might even been the significant factor in the founding of many nations,
yes,
not just Haiti, but also Venezuela, also Panama, also, you see what I mean? Cuba, this kind of thing,
yes,
on and on. Also Brazil. You see what? Apparently so.
yeah, that's right, that's right. I mean, definitely
It
Jamaica
affected trade, right?
was founded by the was Spanish
Because
first, then it was English,
right, because when
and
they're
then
talking about money,
after the slave revolt they became Jamaica, as a nation.
right,
So
and when they're talking about money, they talking about labor.
yes,
Good, yeah,
yes,
that was the economy, sugar, other things. That was the trade at that time. It was physical labor attached to it.
yeah.
You see,
The labor was
it was
that was
prime,
the main cause, wasn't it? Selling of slaves.
right? Right. Exactly. Exactly. And also the workers. Who's going to work in the fields?
Right.
Who's going to, turn the soil? Who's going to produce the cane, the sugar cane? Who's going to produce the tea? Who's going to produce the other things? Not tea, but all the other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Who's going to, put it on ships? Who's going to put it on transport barges? Who's going to, do all that physical and manual labor? Who do they use? And so if they relied on slaves, then obviously, the slave revolts would impact their ability to trade, and
Exactly.
then their economy. But go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, well, you had the Portuguese, and they came in a bit later than the Dutch. You had the French, you had the Spanish, who were conquering overseas territories.
Hmm.
But the Portuguese found out about the trade winds, and I think they were trying to get to Asia, and they were trying to pass South Africa. The
Hmm.
bottom of South Africa, there is some treacherous waters where many ships have just disappeared.
Hmm.
So what they would do is use the wind and swing around, not go near the coast, but swing right around. And with this swinging around, they ended up landing in Brazil.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
the Portuguese are one of the first. Um, then obviously the Spanish, and then the British.
Hmm.
Also the French were there as well, because the French were in America.
Hmm.
Also all the way over in Asia as well. The Philippines. I think the Philippines is Portuguese, but there's a
Oh,
couple of.
really?
Yes, the Philippines is Portuguese, so that's why they have Catholicism, Catholics religion in Philippines. I think the French were. Where were the French again? Oh, the French were. The French were there as well. Is it Vietnam? I think Vietnam are one of them countries, you know. So you had
That had slavery in the Macau and the coast of China.
that could be it, yeah. So you got the Portuguese there. You see,
That's 16th century.
yeah,
Hmm.
and also South Africa was another place where they plotted up, and they were introduced to the Sandmen in South Africa,
Hmm.
and also this is where quite a few people from African descent were brought to Europe as well.
Hmm.
So you also had that was the early days of the Atlantic slave trade. It didn't really kick off as much, but the Portuguese are one of the first to start it, and then the Spanish, and then the English sort of really went in and focused solely on slavery, as a business with the rise of sugar, because the new crops coming back to the UK was tea, and they didn't have anything to sweeten it, so sugar became a very prized commodity, a very expensive thing. I really call it like the cocaine, the drug trade of the the older days. The drug trade has just taken over from the sugar,
Hmm.
and so sugar, and then obviously alcohol, which was also used to keep the people down as well. It was also used to trade in Africa.
Hmm.
So alcohol was taken over there and traded for slaves.
Mm-hmm.
And so yes, it's not the first instance of slavery, but I would say on an international level, there's nothing's been seen like that in history, with the transportation of huge amounts of people from one area to the other. And also you have the, as you said, the slave rebellions. You had rebellious slaves. They were brought to certain islands as well, apparently. Jamaica being one of them, where it was a sort of a drop-off point, because places like Brazil and Haiti, Cuba were much more profitable. Also, they had maybe, I think, I'm not sure which countries had gold as well, because they were really in search of gold.
Mm-hmm.
And once finding out about sugar, and then finding out about labor, that they could get humans to do the work for free.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where that kicked off. So a lot of things kicked off with the, as you said, the rebellions. They should really be they should be the ones that have been given the so I'm just reading what you got up there. They're the ones that really made these countries, because these countries were just sort of plantations. They wasn't really going to be governed and ruled. It's only when the rebellions happened, that's when they kind of took control of those areas for logistical reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fair to say that yes, the slaves actually, like places like Colombia,
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica, yeah, they made them nations. Haiti, yeah,
A lot of the records, obviously, it comes to who how well people kept records, and historical records, that is, or economic records, trade records. But when we look at the timeline, but it's clear when people say, when we see that the early revolts are timed at 1500, 1520, this period, it
right.
becomes clear that so the beginning of the transatlantic slave trade, it leads up to the 1500s, so it begins in the 1400s.
Yes,
And let me
with
see some.
the age of sail, the age of sail,
What do you mean?
there was an age of sail, so obviously
Oh,
ships were
oh,
brought.
ship sailing, right, I
Yeah,
got you.
yeah.
Age of
So it's
sail,
the building
yeah,
of
yeah,
ships, better
yeah,
ships,
exactly.
bigger
Mhm.
ships. So the age of sail, um, and then also the most important part was the trade winds, which propelled the Portuguese above the rest
Mhm.
with the trade winds.
Right, exactly. Yeah, keep going. I'm listening. Look,
Yeah, so there's
this is
trade winds around the Earth. There's winds that travel around the Earth, and they found out if they caught certain trade winds, it would carry them in certain parts of the world.
Mhm.
So before, a lot of shipwrecks, a lot of in the early days of the explorations of the
Mhm.
Europeans wasn't so
Mhm.
fruitful, you know. And the Portuguese definitely discovered the trade winds, and that propelled them to being to finding to be in places like Asia, South Africa,
Mhm.
you know, And then once that happened, and then when the other nations found out, being that they were bigger nations, then you had the rise of the Spanish Armada, and the Spanish went around and conquered vast areas, as we can see with the language that's spoken around the world today. The whole of South America speaks Spanish, like a broken Spanish. Latin American, only Brazil is Portuguese. And we also have in Angola in Africa is Portuguese as well. Then you had the Dutch in South Africa, the West Coast being run by the British. And obviously we had Egypt and the northern states. But because of the black man was looked at as a prime person for labor, very strong, used to that kind of climate as well. Okay, because the climate in the Caribbean was similar to Africa. Also, malaria was a big killer in these places. Yellow, called we call it dengue fever now, or malaria, but that was called yellow fever, which was a big killer back in the day. So they were seen to be more suited for hard work, and also taking advantage of taking people away from their homeland and taking them to a strange place. So they become submissive in a way, that the only way to escape these areas of the world, because they didn't know where they were, and they were parted from different tribes. They wouldn't keep the same tribes together. They would split the families up, split up the slaves from the certain same areas, and causing more confusion. Also, the barbarity of breaking the rebellious slaves with rape, with flogging, which also caused the mothers to bring up their children to be more submissive to the whites, because of barbarity that they witnessed, what they would do to people that were rebellious. So to be a rebel in itself was an extraordinary thing.
You know what? I'm looking here. Keep going.
Yeah.
So
obviously you had the indigenous people that were there as well. Some people say that there was also indigenous black people in these areas, but let's say it's indigenous, similar to the Native Americans. I think that's the same people that have traveled down towards or from South America as well, to the small islands in the Caribbean. So they didn't fare well with the flu, diseases like chickenpox. The flu was really bad, and also the treatment. They were not used to that treatment, that kind of hard physical work that changed to their lifestyle, and many of them just perished. And again, the black man surviving also the Atlantic slave trade, the conditions on the ships. So there is no figure for how many people didn't survive, but to just survive that journey on the ships for the 2 months, shackled together in the belly of the ship. Also brought about a genetically modified black man, coming over. Whoever, so the strongest survived. The weakest were thrown overboard. And my theory is why sharks eat people is because for 400 years they would follow the slave ships. So that's my thought, where sharks get the taste of human blood from. 400 years of bodies being thrown over. Not just the slaves, also people on the ships who were also say they were from UK, Ireland, Scotland, sometimes as far as Canada, all over the world. Some people would be sentenced to say 3 years in the New World for stealing an apple, because at that time Europe was a very different place. It was not industrialized as such, and there was high levels of crime, high levels of poverty, high levels of illiteracy. So people were sent over. So also, as we know, that there wasn't many women that were brought over to these territories. So what ended up happening, you had the breeding farms as well, but you also had the mixing of the bloods, the Europeans sleeping with the slave women and fathering children. We can see the Portuguese had a sort of different way of dealing with the brown-skinned children that came out, different to the Spanish and different to the British. Some of them were acknowledged by the fathers, the Spanish not so much, and the English even less. So around, and as well, as you said, around the 15th century, we can start to see in places like the UK, when they started to bring black people back there, the rise of racism. This is where the racism really started to the black population, being that they were from a different lifestyle or religious backgrounds. So people who were seen not to be a Christian was seen to be a savage. And so that's another point that happened to the racism started. We have a gentleman, to pause there, we also have a gentleman called Bookman. So some slaves managed to be able to read and write. Probably it would have been the Bible. Probably that would have been the first book for them to start reading. And so some slave plantation owners, which was against the law to teach slaves how to read and write, but some did. And they have a gentleman called Bookman in Jamaica, and apparently he sailed from Jamaica and traveled to Haiti. And with his knowledge of, he could read and write, because once you can read and write, your ability to speak improves a lot, your vocabulary. And apparently he had an influence on the already rebellious Haitians. Okay, the Haitians were very rebellious, Okay, and they had a slave rebellion in Haiti. Also defeated France. And today, why Haiti is so poor is because they're still paying back France for that defeat up until today. And it's the second country in the Western Hemisphere to gain their independence. The Haitians.
Keep going. I'm listening while I'm reading, brother.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yep.
So I was speaking about the Maroons earlier, and we had Nanny of the Maroons. We also had Kodjo on the other side of the island, and we could see that they defeated the British as well, and they were sued by the British. They were also given land, but there was also the use of using also. I'm not sure where they got the I don't know if they were slaves or if they were Maroons, but they were used to fight against the Maroons to sort of to find them in the remote areas of Jamaica. And
The letter.
Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
so we have that part of it. So Haiti, Jamaica, and as you said, South America. And who's to tell that maybe some of the rebellious slaves from South America were brought to places like Jamaica and brought with them the idea of rebellion?
Well, as we discovered earlier, this Bahio, right? One of the leader of, a great South American, African, or Maroon leader. I mean, they say he's responsible for many revolts. As he was transported around, he was seen as a troubled, slave. So they kept selling him around, and shit was happening. And so it's likely that this existed. It's likely was part of the information spreading too. Like when you have one slave that's a troublemaker, what do? You get rid of them and try to get your money back. So you sell them to another person. And if you want to get your money as a good sale, you're obviously not going to say, hey, this guy was the leader of a slave revolt. No, because that would get him killed, right? Or this one seems to keep running away. This one keeps talking back. This one keeps trying to, get free. Then obviously you won't sell that. So that's not a good sale to make. So, there's that factor too, so I'm sure, well, as we also established this, man, I'm glad you brought that up, brother. Check this out. Let me see. Now what's the guy's Denmark Vesey, right? Now, if you say Denmark Vesey, right, and then you look at how he got to the United States, right? See, Denmark Vesey arrived in South Carolina. This is the same in Charleston. That's where Bennett, one of the biggest slave owners, he became governor of this state, I believe, early on, right? So he had his own plantation, Bennettsville, right outside of Charleston. But he was the governor here. Now, when you look at Denmark Vesey's history, look, likely born into slavery in St. Thomas.
Right, yes.
Vesey was enslaved by Captain Joseph Vesey in Bermuda for some time before being brought to Charleston. See? So that tells you right there. There Vesey won a lottery and purchased his freedom, whatever. I don't even want to. This one, I have to look more into that. But they say he won a lottery and purchased his freedom. Wow, how convenient. He had a good business and a family, but was unable to buy his first wife back. Yeah, what kind of lottery is that? And their children out of slavery. Vesey worked as a carpenter and became active in the Second Presbyterian Church in 1818.
Wow.
This is he helped. Now, obviously, this is after the Haitian Revolution, but these revolts were going on the whole time. Just because Haiti got free doesn't mean everybody did. Obviously, right? That's why we have that timeline, that epicenter poster, right, that we're creating with the dates. But in 1818, he helped found the Independent African Methodist Episcopal AME congregation in the city town today known as Mother Emanuel. The congregation began, but in any case, let me see here. He came from. Let's see here. Let me go back for a second, because that's what they have on. What they have on him, right, on Wikipedia. But I'm not sure Wikipedia is the best
Yeah,
detail
it's not the
all the time.
greatest for, because people
It
upload
doesn't keep not
information
always
and
up to date on all the facts, right?
no,
Um,
no.
but here, just for reference, it says I'm gonna put this also in the chat for folks too. By the way, it says that Denmark Vesey, born in 1776. I mean, this is important dates to remember now. Also, in terms of that epicenter thing, 1776. That is pre-Haitian Revolution. That's leading up to the Haitian Revolution. You
Right.
see, so there had already been a whole lot of revolutions going on, or revolts going on. Even townships had been founded in South America by slaves that revolted, townships that were agreed upon by the magistracy, by the Spanish, by the crown.
Yes.
So this period right here is leading up to the Haitian Revolution. So he's born in 1767, probably in St. Thomas, Danish West Indies. That's Denmark, right?
Yes.
The part
All
Denmark
right.
controlled.
Okay.
This country I'm in. Died in July to the 2nd, 1822. So he died approximately 30 years after the. Hold on. When did the Haitian? Let me see something. Haitian Revolution ended in 1804. So he died 18 years after Haiti was founded. Um, so he experienced this. His life crosses this period. You see what I mean?
Right.
And so that's important to outline too. And then 1781, while still a boy, Denmark was sold to a Bermuda slaver captain named Joseph Vasey and assumed the latter surname. He accompanied the captains on numerous voyages, and in 1883, the two settled in Charleston. You see
Wow.
that? So there's a
Yeah.
lot of migration, and this is
It's
important
not
to
just from Africa. There is also, as you said, there's also movements of people from the slave plantations to America
Yes, exactly. And those could be their background could be
and vice
European
versa.
or yeah, and their background could be different. It's also different nationalities, Spanish, Portuguese, otherwise, but also within that group are also subclads, which are like could be as we discussed before, could be crypto Jewish people of Jewish descent,
Right.
crypto Muslim people of Islamic descent from the Iberian Peninsula at that time, because that's that's like part of the European epicenter, you could say. The Renaissance. Oh no, not the Renaissance. I'm sorry. The damn
Oh, yeah,
the the
the Inquisition.
Inquisition, exactly. The Inquisition epicenter, right? So, yeah, that would be a broader map. But in 1800, Denmark was allowed to purchase his freedom with $600. He had won it. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, street lottery. Damn, you can win $600 in street lottery? Dissatisfied, no shit, no robbery, no nothing, with his second class status as a freeman and determined to help relieve the far more oppressive conditions of
Mhm.
bondsmen he knew. Vasey planned and organized an uprising of city and plantation blacks. This happened
Wow.
in Charleston, I believe. Hold on. The plan reportedly called the rebels to attack guardhouses and arsenals, seize arms, kill all whites, burn and destroy the city, and free the enslaved people. As many as 9,000 blacks may have been involved, though some scholars dispute the figure. Um, Warned by the house servant. Yeah, this is taking place in Charleston. Yeah, and that encompasses a lot of plantations, including the Bennett. It's
And
some
it's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that where you got your name from? Maybe.
Uh, yeah, that's definitely where I got my name from. Now, if
Mm,
I'm going to be accurate, there's some. He had Denmark Vesey had some. Who were Denmark Vesey's um Vesey's captains? Uh, I believe not master, but I believe in this revolt. Let me see something here. He had some partners, you know, like he
right.
had.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a right hand and another. He had two or three different, folks that was like helping him conspire other blacks, right? Other African descent, and I believe one of them got my last name. To be honest
Right.
with you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe one does. I yeah, here we go. This is Demar Vasey. Let me see. Does
Yeah.
that
The
say
Britannic.
who it is here? I wonder about that, but hold on. Let me see something here. 2 seconds.
Back in a minute. Give me a second.
Yeah, let me see. I just want to see what his co-conspirators were, their names, and then I'm gonna end out on that one. Let's see here. Let me try this link again. Does it mention here co-conspirators? Control F. Co-conspirator.
Sorry, I'm back now.
Yeah.
VB. Also, should we be calling them rebels? I think we should be calling them freedom fighters. They were the
Yeah, we
first
should be calling
freedom
them rebels.
fighters.
They're rebels. Yeah.
And um, human rights activists as well.
Hmm. Exactly.
Because I think the
Exactly.
slaves gave the human rights to the world after their rebellions,
Hmm.
which spread it
Absolutely.
across the whole world because the whole world was under the thumb, especially say in the UK where the royal the royal family, the crown, um, ruled the people, so they moved out of serfdom and were still under the thumb. So there's a
Hmm.
lots of things they contributed to in history, but which is sort of watered down. But I think by using the words rebels and stuff like that, they should be reclassified as freedom fighters and human rights activists.
Hmm. Definitely. They should be reclassified as that. I mean, let me see here. Is it Rolla Bennett? Sorry. Right. Denmark Vesey's trial.
Wow.
Right. They have a list of people that were tried. And one of them in this revolt in Charleston was somebody with maybe a relative. Yeah, Ned Bennett. Here we go. Lieutenant. I don't know if y'all can see this um, on the screen, but by
Thomas
December,
Bennett. Yes.
yeah, yeah, by December 1821, Vasey had four main lieutenants. One was Ned Bennett, the trusted slave of South Carolina Governor Thomas Bennett, and Thomas Bennett, he's the owner of the Bennett plantation, which was the biggest plantation in South Carolina, right?
Right.
Another was Rolla Bennett. So everybody that comes from this plantation has his name
Yes, his
Bennett pretty
surname.
much at that time, right?
Correct.
So, who routinely took charge of the governor's household during his absences. Although Rolla later testified that the governor treats me like a son, okay, this is a dude, he was willing to murder the governor and his family. The third man, Monday Gell, enjoyed all the substantial comforts of a free man. His master allowed him to keep a goodly portion of his earnings as a harness maker. The
Right.
fourth lieutenant, Peter Poyas, was a ship carpenter,
Carpenter.
yeah, who believed we are obliged to revolt. So, I mean, this is 1822 in the timeline, and let me just, oops, did I do that right? Let me do something here. Sorry, y'all.
You
Let me
brought up a very good point there as well, which is also left out a lot. A huge amount of the slaves were skilled people. They were skilled in carpentry, especially carpentry. Okay, so they
Mhm,
were not all, and also agriculture. Some of them became masters in agriculture.
mhm.
Right,
This this revolt, this is 15 years, brother, after the Haitian Revolution.
right.
This is 15 years after the Haitian Revolution ended, bro. So
Wow,
that's
I
interesting. So
didn't know
this
that.
is later, right? And if we look at, let's see here. First, let me see something here. Just not to cut you off, but first, USA slave rebellion. Let's look at the timeline for that one too. Okay, look, see, this revolts. I said USA. Uh, and it reverted to Santo Domingo, the one I started off with. That's the earliest one, but let's see here. The first U.S. right, that's 1663 slave rebellion. Okay, in the England American colonies, let me just write that down. That's why it's good to review this stuff, and I'm gonna add these dates onto that epicenter
Yeah,
image
it
that
could be
we had.
wider, couldn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Now it says here revolt. Okay, the first known slave rebellion in one of England's Americans colony took place in Gloucester County, Virginia.
Wow.
Right, 44 years after the first slaves arrived in the British colony. Right. Okay, so that is 16. Okay, that's a century before the Haitian Revolution, and now they're talking Gloucester County, Virginia, dude. Gloucester County, Virginia. So if you look at this on a map here, let's see here. Map. Let me just see again. In proximity,
That
Gloucester
was the
County,
tobacco area.
Virginia. Yep. Let me see here. Yeah, that's a well, this is now according to these dates, um, right, look at here. Now, according to these dates, boom. Now the epicenter would be here down in Colombia, Venezuela tip in this area, which is across from Haiti, right across from Haiti. Now, this is 1500s, the first revolts. Then it starts spreading out. This is 1700s, the late 1700s. And now here we're dealing with the 1700s. So wait a second. So look, that the timeline goes from here, epicenter,
And jumps over to
right?
America.
To here,
So there's
jumps over
another
to Virginia,
epicenter. Yeah.
back to yeah. So that's another interesting fact, bro. What you think about that?
Well, yes, because what would have happened is they started to so over those years, maybe where you see it being quiet in certain areas, they were going hard on the slaves. So the British or the Spanish, I think it was mostly the British, began to really step up brutality, and so that's probably why it went quiet in the Caribbean. Um, but it pops up again, as you said, in America. and as I said, it's vice versa. I think there's also slaves
You
being
just
brought from
raised an
America to
excellent
Caribbean
point, bro.
as well.
Bro, you just raised an excellent point. Because of the successes, it quieted down. Because of the bargaining, because of the revolts,
Yep.
the political atmosphere quieted down. Exactly. They won some concessions, these slaves, but then
Yes.
it picks back up in the US.
Yep.
And then now let's change that map. Check this out. If we look at the US again right here, right? You could see this is interesting. You could see that, okay, from Columbia to Virginia or Grand Columbia up to Virginia, back down to Haiti. There's not all of this is water, bro.
It's not far.
These are all ports.
Yep.
Look, these are all ports. So the places where these revolts are going on, look at that. This Virginia right here. And I'm let me put that. Did I
Yes, Virginia leads on.
did I say Glasgow? Let me see where Glasgow is. Just to make sure, just to check out one other note here. Look at that. Look at that, bro. Look at that.
Right.
You see what it
Right.
says?
Yep.
Right
The
in the-
estuary.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly. So where's this at again? Where is it at? How come it doesn't say it here?
That's isn't that Virginia?
Yeah, but it's a particular town. Why didn't it
Okay.
open up here?
Gloucester County.
Yeah, why I don't know why it didn't open up.
It probably would have been called something different back in the day. So I check on. Let me check.
There it is. There it is. It's all water. Now I see it. It's all water. It's that red area right here. You see?
Right.
It's this
Right.
area
Okay.
outlined by red. That so it has it's major waterways. All major waterways. And if we zoom out from there, look at that, man. That's just like coming from here, right out that major waterway, right around here. And I guess there's this way. No, this is Haiti. Here it is. That's right there.
Yeah.
That's direct. That is direct. And what else? Let's see here for one other note here. Bermuda. We mentioned Bermuda, right? Or no? Was that with Denmark Vesey? That was where was that we were?
St. Thomas. St.
Denmark?
Thomas. I think that's in the Lesser Antilles.
No, he said.
The island of St. Thomas.
Right, it was St. Thomas, and then it was he went from St. Thomas to early life. Look, he went to Bermuda.
Right.
Now, see Bermuda. Look at this. See, you see, bro. You see that?
Very close.
You see that? Close. Yes, bro. Now let me see.
It would have been a stop-off point, wouldn't it?
Also, just look at the location. So look at this. Here, right? Here, from this place to here, right? To here and to here. Yep. And I'm not saying this is the path, but I'm just illustrating how easy it is to transport slaves from these areas.
Yes.
And Haiti looks like it would be a center. This would be, I guess this is the first trading post here. Like, where are the biggest? They say this is the middle ground, essentially. This is the middle ground. This is the middle ground.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of stops here. So Bermuda is one of those stops, obviously, but this is interesting. So from here, people were being brought to here. I want to review that later, man, but it is interesting to see that all this is water.
Yeah.
Between this, all you need is ships, and then you have even more so. Bermuda is the other stop, right here. You know, a Denmark Vesey, and then he comes here. So in Denmark Vesey's case, his travel looked like this. Where's St. Thomas at?
It's on. I think near St. Lucia. I think if you have to zoom in, it's very small. St. Thomas.
It's down here, right?
Yeah.
Where is this at?
I think it would have been down there, St. Thomas.
I think we got to say U.S. Virgin Islands. Hold on.
St. Thomas.
There it is, right there, bro. I see it. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. Now it's on the map. So if we look at that, and then you want to look at where Bermuda is. See, you see that?
It's not
So
far.
Bermuda is just straight up.
Yep.
So he went from here to here to here.
Right.
That Bermuda, St. Thomas is east of Haiti. It's east of
Yes.
Haiti directly. Straight water
Yes,
to
Puerto
there
Rico.
too. Right. So yeah, man. Well, bro, I'm gonna close this one down for today, but I want to do a
Sure.
number 2 and a number 3. So let's talk about that. Let's review this video and then go back and then see if we can fill in the pieces.
Yeah, I'm gonna I'll be using this video as well. Definitely.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
okay.
Do that, and then we can try to fill in this.
The gaps.
Continue on this concept of the epicenter and fill in the gaps. And if the epicenter has to change due to some new information, well, then so be it. That's how it works, right? But it's all
Exactly.
for our betterment and understanding, you know.
I think that's
Yeah,
a great start though, VB. Well done there. And you know, it's a lots of dates and it's lots going on down there.
hmm
I think we've
hmm
touched the tip of the iceberg, but definitely it's can the conversation can grow and we can go
hmm
into more detail. Most definitely. Thank you for having me up, man.
we can go into more detail. Yeah, brother,
Yeah.
I appreciate it. No problem. And yeah, I'm gonna set up the. We'll talk first, and then we'll set up the number 2. We could call this the epicenter slave revolt epicenter map,
Yeah,
right?
could you send me that map as well, please, in my
Yeah.
WhatsApp?
I'm gonna send it to you. Yeah. But
That's fantastic. That.
yeah, man, I appreciate it too, man, because we've been wanting to kind of build on this, and it's a good time because this is a time a lot of people go on their holidays. A lot of people are there at home having family discussions, and
Absolutely.
it's very important for us, no matter what holidays we partake in, no matter what, no matter what, I guess. Oh, what is it? Yeah, political cycles come around, right? There's
Maybe
also
we can
that
have
one.
our own now. Maybe we can get some dates and we can start to have our own holidays to something to celebrate with this information that we're bringing up
Right,
of these
right,
freedom fighters.
right, exactly. And we can. And let me see. Let me see. It was this one. This was, I believe. Did I pull this one up here?
And you also
Right.
discovered the Columbia, which was a great one. I didn't know that at all. So there was a great Columbia, which was a great
Well,
look
I
into
would
that as
like
well.
I would like if there's any change, I would like any updates to be we can add that to this map. And because hey man, I don't see what could be better. It seems like this issue of reparations should be center to all of our discussions and our free time, our political thoughts, our even religious
Absolutely.
thoughts, ethnic thoughts. It should be very important. This topic of reparations, I think, particularly across the diaspora in the Americas. But in any case, bro, I'm gonna close out. I appreciate you, Jade, and
Thank you, sir. You
you're
take
welcome.
care.
You too,
Bye.
brother.
Bye.
And
All.
thank you to everybody else that came through to listen to this episode. Um Once again, I'm going to follow up in the next week on this particular topic again with Jay because it's so important. And let me take this off the screen. And yeah, so I wish everybody, a good into their day or beginning of their day, just a good day in general. And have a good holiday period. If you're celebrating, have a good Thanksgiving if you're doing that. Although if you're an Aboriginal or a Native American, you might even take offense to the concept of this. But But it's good to discuss it also from the Aboriginal and Native perspective, because as you can see, these groups linked up in time. There's some intersection there, you know. So yeah. But on that note, I wish everybody a good day. A bit tired. What's the, oh, Afro Cuz? We get a lot faster if we focus more on it. I think so, bro. I think so. To me, it should be like it shouldn't be Thanksgiving. It should be Reparations Day. You know, Happy Reparations type of thing. You know, and Merry Reparations, Happy Reparations, Merry Reparations. And when it come election time, it should be Reparations 2024. You know, yeah, indeed, brother. See you guys. Bless everybody. And continue to move forward in your day. Blessings.
I don't want people to get the wrong idea. I sympathize. I mean, a lot of innocent people died. The CIA trained the pilots that flew the planes. War is a game like chess. And innocent people get caught in the crossfire. Billions are spent on military defense, satellites and global intelligence, and it don't make no sense.